welcome back to the South Baltimore Now podcast. I'm your host, Nate Carper, and today I'm really excited about this episode. So moving forward, we're going to start incorporating some episodes here on the podcast where we're going to feature more of our local businesses and local service businesses that make our community special. Some of those folks you may not see when you drive down the road and see their signs, and maybe not your traditional restaurant or retail stores. So we're going to kind of focus on those service-based businesses. So you're going to hear some more episodes coming up this fall. So what better way to kick off things than with a business that helps bring new life into the world? Who better to host a podcast about pregnancy and parenthood than a guy who's never been in labor? I do have 2 kids, so I have been in the labor room a couple of times. Today we're talking with Karen Kindig. She's the owner of The Womb Room. Karen is a certified doula and birth educator, and The Womb Room offers a wide range of services, from birth and postpartum support to lactation consulting and parental classes. It's a fantastic resource for expecting and new parents. They are based in Baltimore. They do serve the South Baltimore area. I'm very happy to have Karen Kindig join us on the podcast. Hey, Karen, how are you?
Hey, I'm good, Nate. Thanks for having me.
It's such a unique service that you offer here. I would love to know more about what brought you to start the Womb Room. Tell us your story and the community that you serve.
Sure, yeah. So I'm actually a therapist by trade. I went to social work school for grad school and then started doing therapy in homes for about 10 years before becoming a mom myself. I found this cool wellness center named The Womb Room. I wasn't the founder of The Womb Room. I was just a fangirl in the beginning. It was located in this little studio above an art studio right on 36th Street in Hamden. And so, I found out I was pregnant and I was like, all right, I need to be around other pregnant people so that I can have my community. So I started going to prenatal yoga there, and the founder, her name is Heather Brown. She's just this amazing woman who went through all of this herself and decided people need more community, when they're having babies, bringing life into this world. I was showing up for the prenatal yoga every week. I eventually hired her as my doula. I eventually took her childbirth ed classes, and it just really changed my whole experience of becoming a mom. I couldn't imagine not having that as a mom. Afterwards, once my baby was born, I struggled a bit. Postpartum was really hard. I don't know if you went through that with your partner and your kids, but it rocked our world. It was just so much harder than I thought. The Womb Room at the time didn't really have much going on for postpartum, and I saw such a missed opportunity there that, pregnancy is one thing, but postpartum is where it's at. That's where people really need this help. Once I came out of that fog, Heather, the founder of the Womb Room, let people know she was closing it. She said, I'm moving on with my life. I'm going to do some other stuff. I was heartbroken. I had just come out of all of that. And I was like, this cannot not exist for other people. And in fact, I think it needs to be even more robust. And I think my husband and I are just crazy enough to be like, you know what, we're going to talk to her about this and see how we can keep this going. If it means I have to quit my job or whatever, we're going to just figure that out. And that's what we did. We pitched her, and she was really excited that it would be able to keep going. This transition happened 4 months before the pandemic. So that's around when this all transitioned and we took over. It's all been an amazing ride since then.
Wow, that's amazing. So right before the pandemic, which I'm sure was a difficult time to take over a business, I assume business picked up because of all the pandemic babies that came out of it.
I had very little business experience. My husband, that's his background. He majored in psychology in college, but then fell in love with business. His whole thing is always wanting to do business for good. He was really excited about this and he helped me lead the way. When the pandemic hit, I thought, oh my God, we just bought a business that's going to die. All these businesses were dying and it was terrifying. Just the opposite happened. People were so in need of support at that time that we were able to transition everything virtually. So we were doing online support groups, online childbirth ed and yoga, and people showed up and it kept the business going. It was amazing, actually.
So my wife and I, when our first child was born, my son was born, we chose to use a doula. It was something I had never honestly even heard of before. This is going back to 2013. I know doulas have been around for a long time, but I know you offer that as a service, and we found it very helpful and comforting during the process, lending some reassurance. But I'm curious, besides the doulas, what are some other less common but valuable services that you offer at the Womb Room that people may not even know about?
So, there's a lot of different ways you can struggle when having a baby, a lot of things that people might not realize. Having a doula is the first thing you should consider because you never know like what might come up through your pregnancy or in labor. And so it's good to have that person by your side to help you like get through that and to know what maybe you just don't know. But also, I mean, we have lactation consultants because you never know if, breastfeeding is going to get off on the right foot or not. We have therapists who a lot of times meet with clients while they're pregnant and then have like a appointment scheduled right after they have the baby. So there's just that continuity of care that's like, right, you know that after you have your baby, you're going to have someone to talk to. We also offer placenta encapsulation, which is probably the oddest thing that we offer that people don't really know about. It's this ancient tradition where they dry the placenta after the birth and everything. So we have like certified placenta encapsulation specialists. So they'll come into your home after you have your baby, dry it in a dehydrator, and then they grind it up and put it into these capsules. And then you ingest the pills over time, like a couple pills per day for a month or two. The science and belief behind it is that the placenta holds a lot of those nutrients that you lose while you're giving birth, like all the blood that comes out in the baby and all of it that comes out after you have the baby. It's all taken with it. And the idea is it all comes back into your body and helps you with that transition into getting your energy back. A lot of people claim it really helps with their mental health and their energy, especially if you're losing a lot of blood in labor. We have a lot of yoga classes going on. We really just try to be there to support people with whatever's going on.
And are most of these services taking place at the location in Hamden or some still virtual, or do you have people that go out to?
So the only thing that really goes on in our studio is the yoga and the childbirth education. We also have a massage therapist now who's there on Mondays. Doulas come out to people's homes and they meet you at the hospital. The therapists are all virtual. So we really love being able to offer that virtually because, when you're having a baby, it's not the easiest thing to get in your car and drive somewhere. And so we really want to just be able to people just meet people in their pajamas and they're like, maybe the baby's napping behind them. Maybe they're even holding their baby. We really just try to be flexible for people. And I mean, on top of that, it really allows us to access people all over the state and in different states even. We have a free prenatal yoga class once a week that we get people from all over the country attending. And that's just really just to try to extend something to people who are in different states since we geographically aren't in any other states, at least not now.
Pivoting to expecting parents who are just starting to think about their birth plan, what's a piece of advice you'd give them to help them feel more comfortable, empowered, prepared?
Yeah, totally. Well, first, I want to say, you didn't feel this all happening to your body, but men go through changes as well when they're becoming parents. I think it's totally legit. You were there, you witnessed it, you were part of it. So, studies show that people who are more prepared for the birth, for becoming a parent, just do better. And I think that goes with anything. And I wouldn't say like the more you know necessarily, because there is a potential to know too much and become too anxious in the process, but to be informed is really good. Childbirth education, I think, is so, so important. You're learning about the process of labor and birth so that when it's happening to you, you're not scared. Okay, our bodies respond much better when we're not in like that fight or flight fear when we're having a baby. No baby wants to come out of a body that's tense and scared, right? That it all works much better when everyone's ready for it and calm. So I would say the number one thing is to figure out a way to feel ready for it. Having a doula you can chat with, having a friend, if you don't want a doula, that's totally fine. But having a partner who feels really calm and grounded around it, taking some childbirth ed class or even just studying it on YouTube to learn what goes on so that you can feel in like a grounded space so that when it happens, you're not freaking out. If something tough comes up and you're scared and your doctor's telling you one thing and you're like, oh, but I read another thing, you're not making a decision from a place of groundedness and intent. You're making a decision out of fear. And a lot of times that doesn't go well, right? You want to feel like you're making the best decision for your body and your baby. That is also in the research what helps limit traumatic situations. If you feel informed, if you feel empowered, if you feel like you're part of the process, you're way less likely to come out of it feeling traumatized.
And that's all so important. And as you mentioned, even previous to this, about the postpartum effects. I mean, I know that's something that can be so real. The birthing process is one thing, but then afterwards, It's the postpartum feelings and all that goes with that. And none of these kids, unfortunately, come with a specific manual for each one. We're all just kind of winging it. But having services like yours, is really important to help folks out and get them on the right plan and get them the services they need.
I think having a place where people can go and hear it's okay, it's going to be okay, this is normal, and hearing other parents say, I've been through it and I survived it, is really powerful.
For anyone listening here today, they might have more curiosities about the womb room and might be interested in your services. So, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you and learn more about the womb room? Anything you have coming up that you want to highlight to people?
Sure. Our website is a treasure trove of information. So if you head over to there, it has everything we do. It has our schedule. It's really too much information. It's so much. So dig through there and figure out, whatever it feels like you're looking for. And then if you have questions, we have an amazing support team. You can reach out directly to them. It's support@wombroom.mom, or there's plenty of contact links on the website. You can reach out. We also have a free 15-minute consultation where they answer any questions you have. We really try to do a lot. We try not to overwhelm people, but we are really trying to be there. So we tend to customize the experience for what you have going on. We also have an Instagram. It's wombroom_Baltimore. Those are the main places. And, twice per year, I think one of my favorite events that we do, twice per year, we have it's called the Community Gear Swap. And everyone brings in stuff that they're like done with, baby baths or clothes or whatever. And then they can drop it off and pick up whatever they need for the next step. And I think it's my favorite thing because for one, it's free. So we get all kinds of people coming out from everywhere. It's free, but we do register because our studio is only so big. I love seeing some of the same faces coming back. It feels like a very cool, like green, sustainable thing to do where everyone's, community-wide thing where people are trading back and forth things that they need or don't need anymore. And it's really beautiful. Our next one is a month from now, September 27th. Again, that's on our website, though, if people want to check it out.
Karen, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast today.
Thanks for having me, Nate. I really appreciate it.
If you or someone you know is expecting, be sure to check out the Womb Room, and I'm going to have all the links in the show notes here. And if you're a local business in South Baltimore and you'd like to be featured on a future episode, just make sure you shoot me an email. We'll see about getting you scheduled and talk about your services as well. But we'll be back soon. Thank you for tuning in to South Baltimore Now.